Hi everyone, my name is Mathieu Segar. I was asked to talk to you about the food industry and the packaging industry in Senegal. Today I will talk to you about both, and I'll start with a short overview of the industry itself, the food industry, the food and drink industry, so that you understand the context. Food manufacturing is made of a myriad of small and very small production units across the country. But the vast majority of them suffer from the lack of proper packaging solutions. However, in the capital and around the capital, the main sectors are dominated by a few players, such as sugar industry, only one factory in northern Senegal, near the river Senegal, where the sugarcane grows. The food and drink industry is dominated by three major companies. The grain and flour milling industry is dominated by two companies only. The vegetable oil processing industry is dominated by two industries as well. And the dairy product industry is dominated by three companies. And then the tomato and tuna canning companies are only a handful. So as you can see, it's a twofold sector where very small companies are quite rural, quite artisanal, and on the other hand, you have major and old-timers industries. In the middle, there is not much. The agro-industrial sector suffers from a high and shifting fiscal pressure, and the conditions for importing inputs are also shifting quite often. And in the end, the lack of interest from local investors is a major constraint. The business environment is quite difficult for those companies, regardless of whether they have domestic or foreign capital. The same goes for the packaging industry, and information is quite hard to get, also because there is no dedicated professional body. As you may guess, factories are oversized, over-equipped, with serious processing bottlenecks and thus underutilized. However, a small portion of agro SMEs are in very high demand for innovative packaging options. All in all, the packaging industry is only a handful of companies, 9 companies only. 2 of them are in the cardboard manufacturing sector. And every year, those people meet at the International Food and Processing Fair. And this takes place in Dakar. I haven't been able to attend last year, but I've known some quite positive feedback from this international fair. Strangely, it is the embassy of Turkey that organizes it all every year. The industry trends are quite similar to the one we know in Europe. However, it is critically important for that materials to resist to heat, to moisture, and temperatures gaps. Over the last 15 years, there's been a high demand for locally processed cereals, and thus traditional food are very much packaged under convenient plastic bags, and we will see later that plastic is under threat by law. That's one aspect. The other aspect is about the manufacturing of eco-friendly packaging. Most of the local producers, such as the one you see on the top right, are purchasing these months, eco-friendly packages in Morocco and China. Now the trend towards locally made food and drink items, whether it is sold in markets such as on the bottom left of this slide or online, is quite significant, specifically right now with the COVID-19 crisis. Now, there's been a few recommendations I heard and I've read and also discussed with some major players. And the main one I heard, and which seems very important from my experience, is the involvement of consumer associations, and this goes in parallel with the development of capable professional organizations. Um, Knowing the sector as I described it to you, with a few major players and only 9 packaging industries, it is a surprise to see that there is no technical institute that are involved in funding innovations, looking towards new demands and understanding the demands. Now, the introduction of new and improved manufacturing and conservation process is also recommended by some. The streamlining of analysis and training in food safety within the food and drink industry is also in demand, and it goes together with the promotion of hygiene and food safety in small enterprises. Now, where foreign companies from Europe can act is in developing agreements or public-private partnerships with the existing Institut de Technologie Agroalimentaire, ITA, and it's also probably about studying the feasibility of a technical institute that could gather all these industries. Now, I would like to finish this presentation with a very recent development that is, at first sight, a serious threat to the sector. But as all threats, there are opportunities. And from what I can see, mainly because producers of plastic items now must incorporate a proportion of recycled plastic, and they are obliged to set up a deposit system for plastic bottles, as well as a collection system for plastic waste. Also because plastic products made of non-recyclable material will be taxed starting from 20 April 2020. And based on the fact that single-use plastic items are simply forbidden, I personally believe that there will soon be quite a few opportunities, business opportunities, for those in Europe who have already gathered and developed well-fitted technologies. I'd like to thank you very much. This was my last slide, and I wish you a very nice webinar to all. Bye-bye.